Hello and welcome to the Tendercoffee with Yaroslava and Pep, 10 directive people. Make yourself a coffee, we already started, and join us for an interesting discussion. Do you remember I asked for your thoughts what we should cover in our next Tendercoffee? I suggested in my group at Signal that we could analyze the topic of public financial control, our public procurement. I am pleased to say that the members of my group at Signal agreed with me that this topic is interesting and actual. Moreover, in my mind, this topic is not only interesting and actual, but also very important. So, as we already understand, today we are considering the specifics and features of the public financial control, our public procurement in Ukraine. Let's dive in. I want to emphasize, guys, that the public financial control, our compliance with the legislation in the field of public procurement, is carried out by means of procurement monitoring in an order established by the law of Ukraine on public procurement and conducting the procurement checks, as well as in the course of public financial audit and inspection. I want to note that the procedure for conducting of procurement checks by the State Audit Service of Ukraine and its interregional territorial bodies approved by the decree of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine dated August 1st, 2013, number 631. And I would like to draw your attention to the fact that I personally participated in preparing this degree of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine. Okay, let's take a look at some specifics and features of the public financial control, such as procurement checks. And now, guys, I propose you consider some features and specifics of the public financial control, such as procurement checks, in the form of your question and my answer. Okay, your first question. Is it possible to conduct the procurement checks without visiting the auditor to the customer as the object of the public financial control at his location? That is, if the auditor conducts the procurement check only in his office. My answer is no, isn't. Why? Let me explain to you. Because in accordance with the decree of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, number 631, the procurement checks is carried out only at the location of the customer and or at the location of the object of his property right. Your second question. If the auditor controls the customer, is it possible that the auditor to visit the bidder or his subcontractor and check their documents about the procurement procedure? My answer, yes, it is. I explain. Because in this way, the auditor conducts the cross-check in the bidder or his subcontractor. Your third question. Is the auditor obliged to inform the customer that the auditor will come to him with the procurement checks? My answer, no, isn't. Because in accordance with decree of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine number 631, notification of the procurement check shall not be sent to the customer. Your first question. Is the auditor obliged to inform the bidder or his subcontractor that the auditor will come to them with the cross-check? My answer, no, isn't. Because in accordance with the decree number 631, notification of cross-check shall not be sent to the bidder or his subcontractor. Okay, let's continue. Your next question. Does the auditor have the right to take during the procurement check not only the public procurement procedure but also other procurements, such as the procurement through an electronic catalog? My answer, guys, yes and no. In my mind there is one nuance. Let me explain. Because in accordance with decree of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine number 631, the customer's documents are any documents about the procurement and about the contracts that based on the results of the public procurement procedure. Therefore, can be assumed that the auditor has the right to take during the procurement check only the contract that concluded based on the results of the public procurement procedure. Your next question, your sixth question. Does the customer have the right to appellate the Procurement Check Act to the court? My answer is also one nuance. I explain. In my mind, the Procurement Check Act doesn't require the customer to take some action. However, the requirement based on the results of the public financial control and this act requires the customer to take some action. So, in my mind, such requirement can be appealed to the court. Your seventh question. Does the bidder and his subcontractor, does the bidder and his subcontractor have the right to appellate this requirement that based on the results of the public financial control and procurement check act to the court? My answer doesn't. I explain. Because the bidder and his subcontractor aren't the object of the public financial control. Okay, here is today's final thought. The procurement checks, one of the four types of the public financial control, and I want to emphasize that the procurement checks has the essential features and significant specifics which you should know if you want to pass it without additional problems. And let me remind you that you can get my legal advice on this topic and another topic in the field of public financial control and other topics in the field of public procurement if you contact me separately. And ultimately, I recommend you subscribe to my pages on Facebook and join us to my group at Signal. Working smart, but not hard, and active people. That's all for today. See you later.